Welcome to story number 8 from Baseball, Boobs, and the Babe. Debbie almost kicked her ass. For 3 decades, Debbie and I owned Knicks sports cards in Dallas. During that time, we met thousands of wonderful people. Some became lifelong friends. Some became loyal customers. And a few became stories. This is one of those stories. The store was bustling with activity. Everybody seemed to be having a good time. I was helping a pair of gentlemen who were interested in vintage sports cards. Unfortunately, it was late summer in Dallas. Hotter than asphalt in August. The air conditioner was fighting for its life. Every time that front door opened, I swear I could hear the electric meter spin faster. Customers were browsing display cases. Collectors were digging through boxes. Kids were spending money they probably should have been saving. In other words, it was a normal day at Knicks Sports Cards. That's when she arrived. A lady stood in our doorway holding the front door open while she carried on a conversation with someone several stores down the shopping center. At first, we didn't say anything. Surely this important discussion will end soon. It didn't. 30 seconds passed. Then a minute. Then another. She just stood there holding the door open while the Texas heat blew through the store like a Category 4 tornado. I remember thinking that if she left the door open much longer, we'd be air conditioning the entire shopping center. Now, before I continue, I need to explain something. Because we were located in one of Dallas's more affluent areas, we occasionally dealt with some rather snooty customers. The kind who wanted immediate service, immediate attention, and couldn't care less about anybody else in the store. Over the years, Debbie and I developed a code word for those customers: T-shirt. The code word originated after one particularly difficult encounter. After the customer left, I muttered, "You're not good looking enough to be a bitch." Debbie laughed and said that would make a great T-shirt. From that day forward, difficult customers became T-shirts. And this woman was definitely a T-shirt. She continued standing there holding the door open and sucking in heat like a high-dollar shop vac. Meanwhile, the air conditioner kept running. The electric meter kept spinning. And Debbie kept getting madder. Now, Debbie is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. She's patient. She's polite. She's usually the calm one in the room. But everybody has a limit. Even Debbie. And this woman was headed straight toward it. Finally, Debbie had had enough, ma'am. The woman didn't even look up, ma'am. Still nothing. Debbie stepped closer and tried one more time. Please shut the door. The woman acted as if Debbie wasn't even there and continued her conversation. Finally, Debbie moved even closer, close enough she could have shut the door herself, and politely asked again. Ma'am, would you please shut the door? The explosion could have been heard throughout the shopping center. The woman immediately launched into a tirade. She informed us what horrible people we were. How rude we were. How she would never come back. How she was going to tell everyone she knew about her terrible experience at Knicks Sports Cards. The entire store went silent. Customers stopped shopping. Everybody was watching. I suspect a few people were secretly enjoying the show. Meanwhile, I could see Debbie approaching her boiling point. I've been married to Debbie for a long time. I know what irritated looks like. I know what mad looks like. This was something else entirely. She had entered the 5th level of pissed off. A dimension of anger that most people never see and very few survive. While Debbie bit her tongue, I realized I needed to act quickly. The T-shirt continued ranting while gathering supplies around the store. Then she marched to the counter, slammed everything down, and shoved a Knicks gift certificate at me. She never stopped talking. Not for 1 second. Finally, I opened the cash register, took out $25 and handed it to her. For the first time since this whole thing started. She became quiet. She stared at the money. Then at me. What is this? It's $25, why? That's the value of your gift certificate. She looked confused. I'm using it to buy these supplies. I replied, we don't need your business that bad. Silence. Complete silence. I only did that twice during 30 years of owning the store. Twice. The store became so quiet you could have heard a baseball card hit the floor. Everyone watched as our guest marched toward the front door, $25 richer. When she reached the door, she turned around, faced the entire store, and shouted, "Assholes." Then she disappeared. The door slammed shut behind her. And suddenly our air conditioner started working again. Debbie was usually very good at handling difficult customers. Not on this day. This woman had sent Debbie into a state of pissed off that most people never get to witness. It took all my strength to keep her from tearing into that woman like a Texas tornado. As the dust settled and the store slowly returned to normal, one of the two gentlemen I had been helping looked at me and smiled. Then he said, "We love coming to Nick's." I've never forgotten that comment. Because every business has difficult customers. They are unavoidable. They get the attention. They create the drama. But they are not the reason you stay in business. The good customers are. The loyal customers are. The people who treat others with respect are. Over the years, we served thousands and thousands of customers. Most were wonderful. Only a handful became t-shirts. And thankfully, Debbie never actually kicked any of their asses. Although a few came awfully close. That's the story of how Debbie almost kicked her ass. And trust me, that woman came a whole lot closer than she ever realized. Next time in Baseball, Boobs and the Babe. Story number 9, Nick kicked my ass. And yes, that story is exactly as strange as it sounds.